vision is
A school community where all students have a sense of belonging, take ownership of their learning, and find joy, passion, and purpose in their continued growth.
Item 1.5, public comment information. We currently offer two ways in which the community can participate in regular school board meetings. The first public comment section on the agenda is for addressing current action items that are on tonight's agenda. These comments must be submitted by noon on the day of the meeting. The procedures for submission are posted on our website under Board of School Trustees. The second public comment section is for general comments and does not have to be specific to an agenda topic. If you wish to address the board during the general public comment section of the meeting, please put your name and topic on a card and give to Deb Hayes at the start of the meeting. All public comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual, with a total of 30 minutes allotted for each public comment section on the agenda. Item 2.1, individual public comments regarding the 2025-2027 Munster Teachers Association collective bargaining agreement. 2.2, comments regarding any current action items. And item 2.3, any general public comments. Item 3.1, the Munster Education Foundation grant presentation.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Good evening, hello everybody, my name is Lynn, I'm with the Munster Education Foundation, and I appreciate the time that the Board of Trustees and the school board administration allows us today. I'm here today to acknowledge all of our grant recipients from the end of last school year and the beginning of this school year. We ended our 24-25 school year with $78,000 worth of grants that we gave out, and we are starting this year with one grant cycle of $22,000 worth of grants. So we are so appreciative to all of the teachers and staff who think creativity. Oh, perfect timing. Who think outside the box and come up with these wonderful ideas to sort of enrich the curriculum on which they teach. So we're really proud. I thought we'd do something a bit different today. Joining me today is Stephanie Zabka, who's on our executive board. But if you are a teacher, staff, or parent here to receive a grant, if you would all come up, and then as Stephanie reads your name, we'll have you step forward and we have a small gift for you. So if you're here today to receive a grant, come on up now.
I got it. Mrs. Dorita from Frank Hammond.
Come on down this way. We'll keep moving.
I know I'm scared.
We'll take 2 rows. Come on up. Perfect. Appreciate it. All right, great. So make sure you get your name if you just step forward so everyone can acknowledge you. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
I might be saying it wrong. Mrs. Novarita from Frank Hammond, in the amount of $1,085 to bring the Storyworks program to the 3rd graders at FHH. Mr. Mayor at MHS in the amount of $5,000 to support the Munster Speech and Debate program. Mrs. Metrich from Eads submitted on behalf of all 3 elementary librarians in the amount of $9,300 for Around the World in 180 Days grant to bring books and materials such as globes, maps to the elementary and help students feel as if they were traveling around the world. Mrs. Sudicki from Elliott in the amount of $1,000 for the Scholastic News subscription for the kindergarten and 1st grade students at Elliott. Mr. Erisman from Eads in the amount of $1,800 for Book to Teach Jacob's Ladder High Ability Program for the 1st graders at Eads. Mrs. Finnis from Eads in the amount of $3,650 for the Fine Arts Department enhancements at Eads, including improvements to the library, music, and art programs. Mrs. Listowski from Eads in the amount of $400 for future innovators as a STEM and robotics grant for all grade levels at Eats. Mrs. Spittle from Elliott for the amount of $2,600 to bring IXL to the third graders at Elliott. Mrs. Speranza from Elliott in the amount of $1,400 to bring new keyboards to the music classes at Elliott. Ms. Legler, a parent at FHH, in the amount of $4,800 for the robotics materials to expand the robotics teams program at FHH. Ms. Zanatakis from FHH in the amount of $342 to bring new novels to the fifth graders at FHH. And finally, we have Mrs. Newsbeck from WWMS in the amount of $2,000 to bring a mobile planetarium to the sixth graders at WWMS.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for the time to acknowledge all these wonderful teachers, administrators, and parents who come up with these wonderful ideas for our kids. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Epley, Mrs. Epcot. Stephanie. Stephanie. I just wanted to say thank you guys for.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Item 4.1, Wilbur-Wright Middle School, presented by Mr. Jovanovich.
Good evening. A little update from Wilbur-Wright. Our 8th graders will be taking the PSAT this Wednesday. NWEA has been given, and we are working with that baseline data now as an instructional team to establish our growth goals for the year. This gives our students and our teachers metrics to shoot for throughout the year. Football, volleyball, science Olympiad, debate, and every club you can probably think of has started in full swing. We have 14 students under the tutelage and guidance of Ryan Ridgely. Go down to the state meet this weekend, which is a ton of fun. We didn't always do this, so kudos to the coaches and the parents that made that trek to Indiana State. We also just had our first debate competition. Our school goes and competes in the Evanston League because we don't have a lot here. And what I've been told is that it's the first time a lot of them did anything like this, and over half of the championship rounds were Wilbur-Wright kids. And a ton of first place, second place, third place. Yeah. Our first dance is next Friday, so we're excited about that. The kids can't stop talking about it. And we wanted to feature our Science Olympiad team who had a ton of success last year. And right at the end of the school year, that's when the nationals is. It's actually during finals. So we have some of the students here to help us out. We have Hannah, Amelia, and Cassius who are going to come up and talk about their successes last year that they hope to build on this year.
Hannah is not here.
roll it a certain distance from like 6 to 8 meters without trying to crack the egg and have the egg yolk spill. Last year at Nationals, we actually had the egg crack, but it did not spill, thankfully. We were able to run our second run without getting disqualified.
Okay, so this is tower. So basically, you build a tower out of balsa. There's a block at the top here, and there's a chain that goes through the middle, and it actually comes to the table. And attached to the chain is a bucket, and you pour sand into the bucket. The goal is to have the tower hold as much sand as possible without, while weighing as little as possible.
What's that made out of?
It's made out of balsa wood, and usually it ends up holding around 30 pounds.
One thing I do want to mention is Cassius and I did optics last year. We placed 16th at Nationals, which, funnily enough, we didn't actually practice for that event. And we ended up scoring the best out of our team for ranking. But yeah, that's it.
I'd also like to thank Amelia's mom. Mrs. Monty provides us with many resources. Whenever we need something, she is always there to provide for us. She's awesome.
She unfortunately could not make it.
Congratulations, guys. Fantastic.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming tonight, and we appreciate you guys showing us what you guys did. When they say they didn't practice, maybe that might have been the only thing they didn't practice, because they practice all the time, all year basically. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys for coming. Item 5, consent agenda. Mr. Trippin-Feltis.
Apologize, I was just thinking of the old days. To make it to nationals is a tremendous endeavor, and the things you see there, to get 16 out of usually probably the 60 some teams in there, because some states are where everyone's supposed to go. That's a tremendous. It's fun to see. If you ever want to see something, that's a tremendous event. All right, sorry, I'm getting back down to consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items 5.1 through and including 5.8 as presented. And so I'll go through 5.1, would be the approval of the minutes, which includes several meetings, because we had several in September. The public work session that was held on September 3rd. Also, the executive session that was held on September 3rd. It also includes the September 8th regular school board meeting, the September 24th special school board meeting, the September 29th special school board meeting, and then the September 29th public work session that followed. And again, we're asking for the approval of those minutes of those meetings. 5.2 is the approval of the accounts payable voucher register as presented. 5.3 is the approval of the payroll voucher register as presented. 5.4 is the approval of the personnel report as displayed on the screen, which has the following recommendations for employment, the following recommendations for resignations, retirements, and professional learning requests, and terminations, as displayed on the screen. Item 5.5, approval of overnight field trips, which includes the field trips for MHS debate for this school year, and then the speech and debate team as a larger group with their events that they're going to for the school year, as well as the Munster High School Science Olympiad, the Wolverine Middle School Science Olympiad, Munster High School Choir. And those are all events that are planned for this year for those groups. Item 5.6 is approval of donations, which includes donations for Munster High School, as you can see, for the dance team, robotics, girls cross country, choir, and the cheer team, from the individuals listed on the page. We then include the approval of the donations made to athletics for sponsorships, and you can see the 4 sponsorships that are there and the companies that are doing that. And along with the Wilburite Middle School donations to the Science Olympiad team, very fitting for tonight. That means Then it includes fundraising. Make sure I get to that. Fundraising for Munster High School for the following events. As you can see, the event, the type of fundraiser, and the projected income from those fundraisers. And there are a large amount that the high schools bring in. Proposed fundraisers from the middle school. Then a proposed fundraiser from Frank H. Hammond Elementary School for K-Kids. With that, the administration recommends that the board approve consent agenda items 5.1 through and including 5.7 as presented.
Would any of the board like any items broken down individually? Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 5.1 through and including 5.7 as presented?
Schwartz-Wolf, so moved.
Is there a second?
Cinder, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.1, Resolution 886 to adopt the bus replacement plan budget year 2026. Mr. Melby.
The administration recommends that the board approve resolution 886.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 886 to adopt the bus replacement plan budget year 2026 as presented?
Schwartz-Wolf, so moved.
Is there a second?
Cinder, second.
Any discussion?
I won't repeat this every resolution coming up, but as the board recalls, we had a public works session, as Mr. Trippenfeld just mentioned a minute ago, on September 3rd, 2025, on the 2026 budget, as well as the capital projects plan and bus replacement plan. On September 8th, we asked permission to advertise, which was granted. On September 9th, the plans were submitted on Gateway as well as put on our website. On September 24th, we had a public hearing to hear the public comments on the 2026 budget. The administration recommends that the board adopt the 2026 proposed bus replacement plan. And remember, this is just a plan. We don't replace buses just because they're at the 12-year mark. Matt Houston is an amazing mechanic. He does great things, but I make sure we keep our buses safe. And we pass the bus inspections all the time, so kudos to him. But this is the plan for the bus replacement for 2026.
Any questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.2, Resolution 887 to adopt the Capital Projects Fund Plan budget year 2026. Mr. Melby.
Yes, sir. The administration recommends that the board approve Resolution 887, the Capital Projects Fund Plan for budget year 2026.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 887 to adopt the Capital Projects Fund Plan for budget year 2026 as presented?
Cinder, I move to approve resolution 887 to adopt the capital projects fund plan budget year 2026 as presented.
Is there a second?
Smith, second.
Any discussion?
I know you know we've gone over these plans for actually years. It's more than a one-year plan. This is planned out. Mr. Podskool and Mr. Begley do a great job looking into the future. We've done a lot of preventative maintenance, which has cut some things out of the plan, which is great because we're staying in front of it and paying less because of it. But with everything done, again, it's just a plan. The administration recommends that the board approve Resolution 887.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.3, the Resolution 888 for budget form number 4, Mr. Melby.
Yes. The administration recommends that the board approve Resolution 888. It's a resolution for appropriations and tax rates.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 888, budget form number 4 as presented?
Schwartz-Wolf, so moved.
Is there a second?
Smith, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I'll take just a couple seconds on form number 4. When you look at form number 4, there are a couple things I want to remind. I know the board knows, but I do want to remind the community. First thing is the adopted budget. We only spend what we need to spend on the budget. Like in the rainy day column, it says $7 million. I can tell you I budget for the rainy day every year because I'm not a soothsayer. I don't know what's gonna happen to a roof or a cooling unit or whatever, so we budget for it. Ever since I've been here, we have spent $0 in the rainy day, and we're planning, hopefully, that's gonna be the same in 2026. Also, when you look at the adopted tax rate column, it says $1.76. That is not the rate we believe it's going to be. We believe the rate is going to be approximately $1.28. My numbers are right, somewhere between $1.27 and $1.28 is when we're gonna land. We do this to safeguard against any potential mistakes in assessment, to make sure we have the funds that we need to provide for our students. But as the board recalls, the board has directed me to keep the tax rate under $1.41 to the best that we can. In the past 5 years in a row, we've been at approximately $1.30. There have actually been years that we've been approved for a higher tax rate from the DLGF, and the board has artificially said, no, we can do with a little bit less than the superintendent, and they've done everything they can for our taxpayers. I say all of that again to remind us we're gonna be at a really good tax rate this year, but in the future, especially 2 years from now, and then in 2031 at its highest with the new legislation, the tax rate will increase. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I know I'm not. The tax rate will increase, but the money out of the taxpayer's pocket, I believe, will decrease. It's just the way they changed the rule. It's like halfway through a football game, they're saying a touchdown is worth 6 points or 7 with the extra point, and then a little bit later, they're saying it's only worth 2 points now. So they changed the formula. So I just want to put that ahead so you guys all know that. So with that being said, the administration recommends that the board approve resolution 888. Unless there's any questions, I'm sorry, I think I might have saw one.
Any questions, guys? All those in favor of the motion to approve resolution 888 by the board member 4 as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.4, resolution 889, to transfer amounts from the education fund to the operations fund. Mr. Bell.
Yes, the administration recommends that the board approve resolution 889, a resolution to transfer amounts from the education fund to the operations fund.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 889 to transfer amounts from the education fund to the operations fund as presented?
Smith so moved.
Is there a second?
Cinder second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, this is just a reminder that since I do believe 2019, when they changed the whole system of the buckets for finance in schools, this is the mechanism that the state gave us to move money from the education fund to the operations fund. At that time, back before 2019, it would have taken actually over 25%, I think, on average, is what we should have sent over to make it even. We're sending less than 15% because that's what the state recommends, and that's what we've done. So the number that's written down there, which is 5 million, is just the top end. We put it a little bit higher than we believe it's going to be because we don't know where the ADM is going to end up, which the ADM looks to be a little bit higher than I had in the budget report, which is very, very, very good thing. So the administration recommends the board passing resolution number 889.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.5, ratification of the 2025-2027 Munster Teachers Association Collective Bargaining Agreement. Mr. Trichenbach.
Mr. Dempsey, the administration recommends that the board ratify the 2025 through 2027 Munster Teachers Association Collective Bargaining Agreement as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the ratification of the 2025 to 2027 Munster Teachers Association Collective Bargaining Agreement as presented?
Schwartz-Wolf so moved.
Is there a second?
Smith second.
Any discussion?
As you are aware, at the September 29th work session, we went through and Dr. Hicks did a great job of explaining all of the changes that were there on that thing. So We have, by law, had to present that at least 72 hours before this meeting, which we've met that requirement. And we're hoping that we can move forward with this collective bargaining agreement.
Any questions, guys? I just want to say real quick, it'll take us here one extra minute, but there was a lot of work that was done by a lot of people to do this. So I just want to say thank you very much for everyone's hard work.
And Ryan Ridgely is also here. Thank him through the Munster Teachers Association.
Mr. Ridgely, thank you as always. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries. For the record, Ms. Cinder abstains. Motion carries 3-0. Item 6.6, retain services of the automated logic for control equipment and the MHS pool.
The School Town of Munster Administration recommends approval of retaining the services of automated logic for the purchase, replacement, and installation of control equipment in the Munster High School school pool for $93,890.
Is there a motion to approve the retaining services of automated logic for control equipment in the MHS pool as presented?
Schwartz Wolf, so moved.
Is there a second?
Smith, second.
Any discussion?
The Munster pool is 15 years old, and the control equipment is starting to fail. So this is getting ahead of our maintenance in order to control the air handlers and maintain the environment in the pool.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.7, purchase of an enhanced transit bus from McAllister Transportation. Mr. Beckley.
The School Town of Munster Administration recommends the approval of the purchase of an enhanced transit bus from McAllister Transportation at the cost of $291,369.
Is there a motion to approve the purchase of this enhanced transit bus from McAllister Transportation as presented?
Cinder, so moved.
Is there a second?
Smith, second.
Any discussion?
Since 2021, we purchased our first enhanced transit bus, as I affectionately dubbed it, called it Mustang 1. This would be called Mustang 2. Since that time when we purchased it, we approved it in 2021 and came in 2022. It has transported our students on field trips, it has transported our band, it has transported our athletic teams and our academic teams. A good example is it's a much more comfortable bus to ride in. It has better climate control, better seating, has DVD players. We took it on a trip to Nebraska with one of our academic teams, so it gives us that flexibility to transport our students without having to contract out with private carriers, and it is a source of pride for our students and athletes when they go to their different contests.
Any questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6.8, the School Town of Munster Pepsi Agreement for 2025 through 2028. Mr. Nolan.
It works. Yeah, part of my role at the high school is every 3 years this contract comes up with PepsiCo. This is a school-wide contract, so it runs K through, or actually down to our preschool all the way up to our high school. But this is our bargain agreement with Pepsi for supplying as the sole provider for all of our drinks and beverages at concessions, the food service areas throughout the campus.
Is there a motion to approve the School Town of Munster Pepsi Agreement for 2025 through 2028 as presented?
Smith, so moved.
Is there a second?
Cinder, second.
Any further discussion? Any questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item number 7, any items that may properly come before the board. I don't think there are any. Item 8, general information and discussion items. Item 9, administrative reports. Dr. Hicks.
There was a point in time in my life where I would have prepared the budget I would have done the bargaining on my own. I would have been the one to prepare the Pepsi. And I cannot tell you what amount of joy it brings me to only have to co-sign on these items and have already discussed them behind the scenes. What a luxury, my friends. I'm so grateful. I do want to thank our partners in the MTA, Mr. Ridgely and his bargaining team. When you come to contract resolution this early in the process, it is because there have been a lot of pre-bargaining meetings wherein the heavy lifting of where can we be, what can we afford, what is reasonable has already been worked out. Most of that happened before I was hired. A lot of the philosophical conversation behind the scenes is really what it takes to move a contract forward. And I want to thank you and your team for the work you've done. And I want to thank my team for the work that they did prior to my arrival and since I've come. This is a very equitable contract, I believe. I think when other folks settle their contracts and we start to compare, I don't think we'll have anything to be ashamed of in this contract. So I'm proud of the work you guys have done. And I say you guys because this year I really landed right at the tail end of this work, and I'm grateful for the work that you've done. I also want to make sure it's abundantly clear to any teacher in this room, any teacher watching this online, that Mrs. Cinder loves you and would vote for this contract. But because we made the incredibly great choice of hiring her husband to work for us, she is not in a position to vote on this contract. We don't want anyone, I don't want anyone to think that she has some dubious reason for having abstained. It is actually love is the reason that she had to abstain from this contract. So I just wanted to say that out loud so that people were not confused. It is my opportunity to update you. I send you these missives weekly, and I give you lots of updates. But publicly, I just really wanted to let you know that I've had a chance to meet with a few of our community partners over the last month, including some of our faith leaders at St. Paul's, St. Thomas, and Westminster Presbyterian. And it's been a real joy to start to see how those who walk alongside us to serve children in the community want to be a part of what we do here at School Town of Munster. They've been very nice meetings, and I feel like as we move forward, there are a lot of things that we can do in common to help our community continue to grow. I had the chance to attend kindness walks, and the kindness walk and the hawk walk. I think I got all the consonants in there right. And what I'm learning is I'm gonna need new shoes. Guys, everything is a walk here, and I love it. It's wonderful. We've gotten Chamber of Commerce weather, but I have worn through the rubber soles of my shoes. I'm gonna need a fresh set. But what joyous occasions, what a great opportunity to see our students engaged in not only physical activity, but a lot of fun. There was a great mascot race. I have footage I can show you after the meeting. It was my first homecoming as superintendent here at School Town of Munster. And what I want to say to you is, I don't know how you ordered up the Chamber of Commerce weather. Obviously, Mr. Nolan and his team made arrangements with our partners at Webb Ford to get a brand new Mustang for me to drive in the parade. I'm in early talks with Mr. Begley about Mustang 3. I don't know where we're gonna get with that. But we want to thank our friends at Webb Ford. I want to thank Mr. Nolan and his team for putting that together and for coming up with horses for homecoming and all of the amazing small and grand gestures they did to make our kids feel special and to give our alumni a place to come and celebrate their time at School Town of Munster as well. They did an excellent job. My children went to the dance and it was lovely. No one prepared me for the fact that Centennial Park was like Disneyland, trying to get pictures ahead of that. Now I know we'll go earlier next year. It was a great learning opportunity. I have received feedback from the town manager at the Town of Munster, and either of the dates that we floated for a joint meeting on the 21st and 26th work. I would ask you to consider whether you prefer a Monday or Wednesday. Give me some feedback, and we will solidify those dates. And that concludes my update.
Thank you, Dr. Hicks. 9.2, Assistant Superintendent's Reports, Ms. Bergeron.
Good evening. Just as Dr. Hicks said, you do get our updates weekly, so just wanted to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to attend the IAPSS and the IASBA conference. It was great to learn from our colleagues around the state. They had an excellent keynote this year, and it was great to hear that everyone's in it together, whether they're in little districts or big districts. It was probably the best one that we've been to so far. So thank you for that opportunity. Just a reminder, first quarter ends on Thursday. That means fall break. We have 5 days this year, which I know some families are really excited about. And I know all students are probably very excited. And the end of the quarter ends on Thursday. Fall break starts Friday, October 10th, and students return on the 15th. And we also had our first Flex Day. We wrote a waiver a year or so ago to provide us the opportunity to offer flex time. So our late start Thursday also became an early release this year for 3 days. Our first one was in September. Our next one is November 13th, and I believe the following one is January 23rd. Don't quote me on that one. It was a success, and that was due to all the hard work of our administrators, our instructional coaches, our social workers that presented. We had clerical with support from our IT department, our teachers engaged in curriculum mapping, some everyday math training, our instructional assistants engaged in training through our social workers and our administrators on understanding confidentiality and the importance within the context of our schools, and then also in supporting students with maladaptive behavior. So thank you to everyone that contributed and worked hard on that. And that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bergeron. Mr. Trevithaldas.
Mr. Millie mentioned the average daily membership, which is what we refer to as ADM. As you all know on the board, and people don't know in the audience, October 1st is the day we count all the heads of children that are in the school district. Our number this year is tentatively 4,034.41 students. Now, the 0.41 people always ask, we have some students who may be homeschooled who may attend our school partially for certain things. And so sometimes you'll get a partial kid because they don't let us count them fully. If they're only here for 2 periods a day, we count them for the 2 periods. So 4,034 students really, but 4,035 heads, if you want to call that. That is compared to last year. 4,023 was our ADM last year. So we're up about 11. I do believe at a meeting that Mr. Melvin and I were with all the business managers of Region 1, there were 3 districts that were either stable or increased enrollment. The rest all had declining enrollment, some rather significant. So that's a positive note for us. Also, just as you approved the teacher contract, just so you guys are aware, and this is more for those teachers listening online or in the room, after this meeting, I plan to send an email out to our teachers that summarizes the changes so they'll see that. And I do want to make the board aware and everyone else aware that our hope is to work with payroll and human resources to get all of the changes for the increases that are there. And there are several different things that are increased. We hope to have those in the pay date on November 7th. So the first pay date of November should show those. And again, we plan with the increase, it's obviously a retroactive contract, so there'll be retro pay. We've got to adjust that. We've got to adjust some things with the 401A, which increased, and we have to adjust some things with the medical premiums, medical insurance premiums that we increased with the district cover. So that's going to hopefully happen by 11/7, and there should be information coming. I'm hoping shortly after this meeting's over, I'll send an email out. I also want the board to be aware that Dr. Hicks and administrative staff at the central office are going to now start working on any potential raises for the other approximately 300 employees that we have at the school town of Munster. We usually handle the teacher contract first, and now we have to work with our classified staff, our professional staff, our executive professional staff, and then our administrative staff. So we'll hopefully be bringing those proposals, and I say hope with my fingers crossed, for you guys as a board in November. And I do believe hopefully we'll have a work session or something like it, or probably an executive session to talk about some of those things if we have to. And again, our hope is to have all of that at the November board meeting, so everyone at that time could know what the raises will be for all the staff for the school year. One other thing that I want to make the board aware of, it's been a little bit difficult to hire new staff with the government shutdown. Most people don't realize what actually occurs, but The federal government requires us to verify that every employee is able to work in the United States, called E-Verify, and you see that because I know you live with this. So it's been extremely difficult because, again, that check is required by the federal government. But at this time, the process to do that has been shut down because of the government shutdown. So it's called E-Verify, and the E-Verify website that we went through is down until the government reopens. We are a little concerned that it might be a lengthy shutdown, so we're discussing options of how we're going to handle that with the shutdown, because if we need people that are in classrooms like instructional assistants, we can't wait. So we're probably going to have to do some things and make sure we write some provisions that those will be handled as soon as possible. And the federal government says we have to do that within 3 days. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it within 3 days of a hire, if they won't let us do it. So we're going to have to figure that out. Just want to let you guys know that. And I did want to commend Munster High School. The homecoming activities were tremendously successful. And if you haven't lived this, I was a high school principal for a few years. Halftime is controlled chaos of homecoming. And Mr. Nolan and his team, and I got to give credit to, I think, Mrs. Faz and Mrs. Laporte for organizing those events and getting that all off. As the clock at the halftime rung 0, we were pulling the cars off of the field. So tremendous job with that, Mr. Nolan. Kudos, and very successful dance, and again, very successful parade. So just wanted to give them some commendations for that because they did a great job. And with that ends my report.
Thank you, Mr. Trippenfeldis. Item 9.3, Chief Financial Officer Report, Mr. Melby.
I apologize in advance, mine's gonna be a little bit longer than normal, but I'll try to talk relatively fast. First, I wanna thank the MTA because, again, working with you over the last several years, it's great to work with people that know the numbers probably as well as I do, so I really, really appreciate that. Also, Mr. Trippenfeldis said by November 7th. We're hoping to get some of it done on the 24th, so I'm not going to make the promise, but I will tell you, Crystal Parker and Lindsay Paoli in our payroll and our deputy treasurer do tremendous work. So if you see something a little earlier, I didn't want you to freak out. Okay, there will be an announcement if it does. Okay, if we go to the cash sheets, the education fund, and I'm going to go relatively quickly. In the basic grant, I got the news of the ADM after we had to give this to you to review. So when you look at the blue area, the estimated area, those numbers are going to go up now. Mr. Castro would always say, you're very conservative, Mr. Melby. Yes, I am. Now I know where the number's going to be approximately, and I can estimate, bring those back up where they should be by the next board meeting. Under supplies, I do want to mention this again. The number for supplies, remember, that's going to go way up this year because curriculum materials are now, most of them will go right into that line item. So I think I said that in February. I'm reminding us again because we did have an uptake in our supply costs. Underneath that is the equipment hardware. That's a little bit higher than normal. I have to, Mr. Podsko from the technology department does an amazing job keeping me updated when his renewals are going to be, when everything. I get the credit for the numbers being pretty good. They do a lot of the work. I mean, most of the work. All I have to do is put it in my spreadsheet. So, Mr. Podsko, thank you. Those are licenses being renewed: ClassLink, Microsoft, ClassWise, and Class Composer, if I'm not mistaken. If we go to the operations fund, you'll see the investments did very well. The next 3 months are also going to be very productive as well, which we'll get into the quarterly report. If we go down to the utilities, I do believe at the last board meeting I mentioned, remember when they put that reader on your house and sometimes they don't read it and you get your bill a couple months later and it's really high? Well, that happened to us. The high school wasn't being read for a long time, so that's why that number is 300,000. Ouch. I guess you could figure out how much the utilities for the high school are over a 6-7 month period. Then you have maintenance and repair. That number is much higher than normal, but think about it. It was the beginning of the year. We did our seal coating. We lined our parking lots. The fire alarm inspectors were in. We make sure Mr. Begley does a great job making sure everything is working and tested, not just we think it's working. We're getting these things tested. Generator testing, and we did have a couple of roof leaks that we took care of. And you'll see also in the mobile and fixed equipment Cisco agreement that drove that number up as well. I know the board knows this, I'm gonna say it again, remember, there's school finance, there's buckets. I can't pay for a school bus out of the education fund, I can't pay for a teacher's raise out of the, operations fund. They all have their own, function, and we have to stick to those things. That's it as far as cash sheets. Referendum fund, there was nothing out of the ordinary. We were right where we thought we would be, and obviously there were no debt payments made in October. The next thing I'm gonna go over is the financial update, the quarterly financial update. On the top, you'll see our investments, where we're at since 2013, and then where we're at currently. That is not taking October, it ended at the end of September. We're tracking right about where we were last year for the entire year. We're coming probably slightly under it, but right about there. If you go to the next page, you'll see where those investments are. Remember, I'm not going out and picking where we're putting these investments. We bid them out, we go with the best bid, and that's how it goes. So that's why you'll see different ones, or maybe some more of one than we would like. You'll see the amount that we have, the source where we're pulling that money from, and you'll see the rate. Just talking about the rate, the Fed rate has dropped approximately 50 basis points over the last 2 terms or 4 months or whatever when they've talked. So rates are going down. What does that mean for our investments? The curve is upside down. You normally think the longer you invest, the better your return's gonna be. You're still gonna get more money the longer you invest, but your rate may not be as good because they feel the Fed rate's gonna go down even further, which is great if you wanna buy a home. Interest rates probably in the next 6 months to a year, I'm hoping are gonna go down some. It's not great if you're doing investments, but we are laddered out, as you see, through 2027 already, but you will notice some of the numbers are a little bit lower when you go out further now. The next page, if you look at the education fund, you know our total budget. Currently, our expenses were well within the 75% that we should be at this point. We're definitely coming in underneath that, but we also know there's going to be an uptick the last 3 months. The retro raises to teachers, that's going to go in there, as well as other things. We know beginning of the year and usually the end of the year costs a little bit more money. The operations fund, we are significantly under, and I'm gonna say a lot of that is because of preventative maintenance, as well as we're doing a great job keeping our buses in great shape. We do have some expenses coming in. Obviously, if this bus comes in at the end of the year, that's gonna tick it up a little bit, as well as another bus. And the referendum fund, we're tracking basically where we're at. We're in no way worried about being over our appropriations for any of our funds. And again, this report is done, the state S&P, that gives our school ratings out. They like that I give this, so I'm gonna continue to give this every quarter. Do you have any questions on the financial report?
Great news, Mr. Melvin. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Item 9.4, Director of Operations, Mr. Begley.
Thank you. Just a quick update on some of the projects we have going on. The sound system that we just installed in the auditorium has been installed and fine-tuned, and that project is complete. Also, the fine art bollards, if you've been in the back, we've installed bollards and planters in that to improve the security as well as the aesthetics. That has been completed, and we're going to look to some other entrances to continue to update those in the upcoming months for spring and summer of 26. 35th Street parking lot and storage, the fence has been installed, the pad for the bleachers being prepped to pour this week, trusses and roof has been installed, and they're tying that into the existing structure, and they'll start shingling the roof this week. Subgrade for the parking lot has been delivered and is being placed, and the project is picking back up pace. It was, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they stopped working on it. They were doing a lot of the underground conduit for the light poles and a lot of the underground stuff that really a lot of people didn't see, but it had to be done before all this got going. So we are still looking at an anticipated completion date, the end of this month, early November. Tennis facility, have to go to the town to get variance approved on fence height, meeting with them on the 14th with the planning commission. We're doing a big furniture delivery over fall break at Wilbur Wright. We're doing 20 classrooms, new furniture. Eads and Elliott are both getting 9 classrooms of new furniture. Parking lot lights for Eads and Elliott, we need to go through the variance process due to the town due to the fixture shape and the height, so we'll go through that process to get that approved and move forward with that project. We're meeting with the architects and the central office personnel on Thursday, October 9th, to refine the design of the central office as we continue that design process. The Munster High School automation, as you approved the one for the pool, we also have some smaller ones that were under the $75,000 threshold that required board approval that we're going to get fixed to include the parking lot lights, some of the controls in the south classrooms. So we're going to get those going because that is becoming an issue. That's an integrated system with pneumatic controls that really need to get replaced. We're going to get going on that as soon as possible. We're going to be replacing the exterior signage at Eads and the interior signage at Wilbur Wright over fall break. Transportation, our 2 new buses have been delivered, as well as the new activity bus. Those have all been inspected by the state police, and they are now transporting students. So thank you for everyone that helped with that project. We also, Debbie Goffler, one of our drivers that served us for 20 years, she retired after everyone got recognized. She was 5 years at Frank Hammond as, I believe, a playground aide, and she served us very loyally as a bus driver for 20. And we had her over for some cake with her family and talked about some old stories of driving around the school town of Munster, and had a nice little event for her and her family. And she'll be back here at the end of the year for the recognition for the school board, but we wanted to do something for her. With food service, Chartwell's hosted the coaches cook-off with Coach Ron and Coach Doug. They provided their favorite sandwich recipes, and students voted on what their favorite. And if the demand is high enough, Chartwell's will put that into the lunch menu as a permanent fixture. Coach Ron, I believe, was Coach Ron. Yeah, I think. Any questions? That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Beckley. Item 9.5, Director of Computer Systems, Mr. Oswald.
Hello, everybody. The team is continuing to still make progress with the whole domain swap. I believe right now the mad dash is to get rid of our remaining Windows 10 machines, which I think we have roughly 30 to 40 out of 5,000 that we started with this summer. So we're almost done with that. And then last week I didn't have a chance to last month I didn't have a chance to talk about town because we had a game to catch. So I want to give a little update on the town itself, and I gotta say that working with them in support is very amazing. Working with Ms. Abbott at the time when she was the interim town manager, has really supported us and a lot of the things that we were trying to do to get them where they needed to be, which really helped us get them into the place before even our summer started, so that we were able to put them essentially what we call maintenance mode, so that we can focus on our district needs and get everything done for us without really impacting, their ability to do the day-to-day stuff. But working with Ms. Abbott has been awesome. Mr. Creel has been awesome too. They've been very supportive. As a matter of fact, tonight I believe they're approving a Microsoft contract at the town council meeting, which is going to also help us do a lot more good stuff for them as well. Other than that, it's been.
Thank you, Yark.
I just wanted to commend you in the report from our superintendent, the fact that you're maybe helping another district. I love the team camaraderie, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping each other. So thank you for doing that.
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to add maybe 3 more quick little things. First one is you remind me of it, but no. As a matter of fact, the Indiana Office of Technology actually hosted a symposium today in Noblesville, Indiana. It was a government IT symposium in which our partnership with the town was brought up. Yes, I've been actually reached out by Portage. There's been several folks that are interested in how we're doing this, what do we make it to work, and the challenges of whatnot that we had to overcome with. And also, even Highland PD has reached out to ask for some help. So there's definitely some interest in the journey that's we're working on. But so far it's been very positive, and I'm not going to stay that way. Like I said.
Great job. Ms. Hughes, Director of Elementary Education.
So I just wanted to share, we began administering iLearn Checkpoint 1 this week at elementary, which provides teachers with valuable feedback on student progress towards mastering the skills and concepts aligned with Indiana academic standards. We'll be eager to see how we're progressing as students take checkpoints throughout the year. So we're excited about that data. And then Ms. Bergeron did already highlight our Flex Day, but I would like to note it really was a wonderful day of learning across the board. It celebrated collaboration and the collective expertise of our staff. One of the things that I absolutely loved is that our administrators and our teachers led the vast majority of that professional learning for the day, which was absolutely incredible. We look forward to continuing this momentum throughout the year. And then as we close out the first grading period, and with it being October and National Principals Month, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to highlight our incredible principals who lead our school each day. I want to acknowledge the outstanding work they do alongside their teams to create learning environments where students and staff thrive. Principalship is not easy, and it's not getting any easier. And we have an incredibly dedicated team that really amazed me and deserves so much credit for the heights we are at Munster and will continue to reach as a district. So I thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Item 9.7, Director of Communications, Ms. Pyrick.
Hello, everyone. So I'm excited to share I received approval to purchase a new camera, which will allow me to do some amazing high-quality photographs and videos to enhance the visual quality and professionalism of our website, newsletters, and social media. And as always, I am updating and adding new pages to our website. So I'm going to just highlight each month some of those additions. And this month, it'll be finalized by the end of the week. I have added a website for Munster High School for their clubs as well as their extracurriculars that students and families can search on keywords such as drama and theater, music, and different activities like that, so that they can try to find some offerings for their students based on their interests. We have so many different types of things that students can be involved in, and because of that large amount of information, I think there's oftentimes some students just have information overload and they just don't know where to go. So this is one of those things that maybe we can have something there for them to kind of hone down on some of their interests and have that available for them. Another addition that I made was to the guidance department page. Mr. Snyder gave me some information regarding their dual credit report for 24-25, and I made an infographic so that we could highlight all of the great success that we had, and as well as a narrative that Mr. Snyder gave me so that we can make sure that all of that hard work and success is highlighted for our students. And then finally, Peach Jar, which is our digital flyer platform. This is something that is at the top of every single website that our families receive an email on Mondays and Thursdays. I am going to continually start reaching out to community organizations so that, once again, our families can find information for their students as well as themselves to get more involved within our communities and organizations within Northwest Indiana.
Thank you, Ms. Pyrick. Item 10.1, Individual Board Member Reports, Dr. Schwartz-Wolf.
Good evening. I attended the Indiana School Board Association Fall Conference on Monday, September 15th. As Ms. Bergeron said, very engaging, fun to meet with other school board members and administrators. I did send a very detailed report to my fellow board members because when the district pays for us to go to something, we should make sure the other people get the information. I'll give you a snippet so you don't have to read that. They have to read the real one. You guys can hear this. The first one I went to was Blueprints of Success, Building a Successful, Self-Sustaining, Student-Run Business. Especially with the pathways, graduation pathways changing, making it more work-based learning, this was very interesting. Spencer Owen Community Schools started a printing company within their school, in the high school, in 2019, which was way before graduation pathways. It started out as 1 period, became 7 periods. It's a full-run printing service, and led by the CEO, CFO, everybody is students. So pretty impressive. The second one I attended was Establishing Excellence, Transforming Your Board into a High-Performing Team. Noblesville superintendent and board members presented that one. Just talked about a formal document that they wrote together as a self-reflection, self-governance. They called it shared commitment. So we've been talking about maybe doing something like that too, getting us all kind of a code of conduct or how we want to present ourselves. I also represented Munster at the Indiana School Board Association Delegate Assembly. This is an annual business meeting for the Indiana School Board Association. The big push, I won't go through all the legislation, but is regulatory relief. In the last 8 years, Indiana's had 308 laws passed that affect K-12 education, which means people like Mr. Trippenfeldis have to then take all those policy changes, laws, and put them into our policy. So we had a 2-hour meeting the other night discussing these policies, and I'm not gonna say some of them aren't needed. I didn't say that. So a lot of the questions are, how are these laws affecting academic achievement and public education? And those are gonna be the questions that many of us are asking our legislators starting in January for the new short session. Thank you.
Well, Ms. Cinder.
Thank you, Dr. Hicks, for calling out the reason I abstained on the teacher contract. I do have no report this evening.
Ms. Smith.
On behalf of my role in the Park District, on October 21st, we'll be holding a public hearing, which will be focused on the proposed park project updates and the funding for those projects. This is separate from Centennial Park projects. So if you are interested in more information on that, again, it's October 21st. Separately, I've had the privilege of attending numerous athletic events across Wilbur Wright and the high school. And I just want to make note, I cannot speak highly enough of our students, coaches, and staff who attend those events, represent our school district, as well as our community as a whole. We have been outstanding from the events I'm able to attend, and it's well worth noting because some of the other places we've been to have not been as strong as Munster school students. So, also I had the privilege of attending the fall play at the high school, which was outstanding, and their hard work was beyond impressive. Those students who do the fall play spend day and night between rehearsing, and all of the backstage efforts they do is amazing. I also want to make note, Munster High School Marching Band community event is on October 25th at 7 o'clock. So if you have not seen our Munster High School Marching Band, they're performing their new halftime presentation, which we saw a little bit if you attended the homecoming game. So look forward to that on October 25th at 7 p.m. at Munster High School Stadium.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Mr. Ridgely, I just wanted to quickly say to you and your team that it's very well appreciated your guys' willingness to come to the table with open minds and the professionalism that you guys constantly, or when we do this every couple of years. I know enough, I've never been part of another school district, so I can't speak for others, but I could say with utmost confidence that this probably is not as seamless as it is here in a lot of other school districts. So thank you for your effort and all of your team's hard work, and everyone up here too as well. Real quickly, I wanted to make mention of Mr. Nolan, because we had 4 home football games this year, okay? And so this year we had to have homecoming and senior night, and Tripp, you kind of stole my thunder. Those are 2 big events, 2 big reasons for celebration that we had to bring together in one game. And I want to mention something to you that I want you to pass on to Coach St. Louis. A player's dad came up to me in the meeting or at the game, and I guess Coach St. Louis allowed the dads to be part of the pregame speech of the seniors. And this dad, he had tears in his eyes. It was the 3rd quarter, and he had tears in his eyes. This is his 4th kid that he's going through Munster, and he said it was the best 10 minutes that he's had of all of his kids in the school district. He walked out of there with tears in his eyes because of how pumped up he was, and even in the 3rd quarter, he was that excited that he wanted to share that with me. So just please pass on to Coach St. Louis that I thought that was a great idea, and I think think it was very well received. That is all I have. Item 11.1, announcements. We have an executive session meeting in 2 weeks from now on October 20th, and we have our November meeting, regular November meeting on November 10th, both at 6 p.m. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Schwartz-Wolf, so moved.
Is there a second?
Smith, second.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, everybody.